everyone, welcome to our free online class. This is the first time we are doing a free secondary school essay writing online class. And I hope that through this class, we'll be able to share with you some of the things that we do in our classes. Our classes are very fun. Our class sizes are very small. We only accept 6 students in a class, and that allows us to have maximum interaction and engagement with our students. So today we are going to do a personal recount reflective composition writing online class, and we are going to use the 2019 O-level essay analysis to share with you some of the useful techniques that you can use for your own essay writing. Okay, but before we start, I will need to do a very quick poll so that I will know what are more. Okay, so some ground rules before we start. So all the messages coming in, as you know, is actually will be moderated. So if you want to ask any particular question, you can feel free to use the little question mark button at the end, at the bottom of the screen. And if you can, we'll be asking questions along the way to help you to plan your essay properly. All right, and we will encourage everyone to participate. There's no right or wrong answers. We really hope that it'll be a fun session for everyone. Okay, so there's no vulgarities, no rude messages allowed, please. I believe you're all mature young people, right? And if you do are using any rude messages or impolite to anyone, we are going to ask you to bye-bye, please leave, okay? And please be polite when asking questions. We really appreciate that. And please do not spam the chat box. Okay, so just a quick one. Okay, just something about myself. I'm Miss Grace Tan. I'm actually the founder and principal of Learning Journey. And I'm actually a bilingual education specialist with more than 10 years of teaching experience. So I've developed a unique Super Writers English and Chinese method, framework and curriculum. So we have our own in-house methods to help our students follow very simple, easy to understand techniques to write better essays as well as do their paper too. And most of our students actually join us with really borderline and fail grades. And at the end of the day, when they leave Learning Journey, most of them actually achieve a better grade. If not, they will actually top their classes for their English writing. And that is not without much hard work. There's no shortcuts. There's no magic tricks or hacks. But the thing is that through hard work and a good curriculum and techniques, you can actually achieve success. So these are some of the students who have achieved success with us. Okay, so as you can see, they went really from fail to, almost getting a very good grade, topping their classes in writing. So it's really nothing short of a miracle. And we also have been featured in many newspapers, on radio. Okay, we've been on TV, on Talking Point. We've been on dialogues. Okay, I'm so sorry. It's a bit lagging on my screen. Okay, we went on some dialogues with Minister and on Talking Point as well. And last year, Nas Daily actually visited Learning Journey, and we had a very fun session with him. He actually wanted to experience how it feels like to be in a Singaporean tuition center. He has never been in a tuition center before in life, so it was an eye-opening experience. Here today, the first thing I want to tell you guys is that for those who are very hardworking, you like to write essays, but you realize that no one is there to mark or give you comments, you can consider this online marking essay package that we have, where our teachers will mark for you and give you a 10-minute session on Zoom to go through with you the essay mistakes that you're making and how you can improve on those mistakes to write a better essay. So for students who have problems writing the reflection part, okay, you can try to write your essays and our teachers actually give you comments and suggestions on how to improve them. But if you really want to learn the proper techniques on how to write a good personal recount reflective essays, you can actually attend our holiday workshop where we'll be sharing even more details than what we are doing today. Okay, so without further ado, let's go. Okay, so step-by-step guide. Okay, so we're going to show you one step at a time. If we are a student going through this essay question, how exactly would be a good way to tackle this question? All right, so the first thing, I will show you the question that came out. This came out for last year's O-level question. This question is originally a pretty manageable question, except that this time round, they actually threw in this part, which is point number 2. Describe this individual's personality. Okay, so when we put all our secondary school students at Learning Journey, they actually mentioned that this part is probably one of the harder part to write, okay, for their essays. All right, and we are going to show you some methods that we are going to use for this. Okay, So this question itself, it says number one, this is one whole question, yeah, but we broke it up into 3 parts so that um, you can systematically approach this question and make sure that every single part has been addressed in your essay. All right? Because each of them carry a equal weightage. So if you were to miss out one part, for example, you do not describe enough, you're going to lose that 33% of your marks. All right? So number one, which person has had the most positive impact on your life? All right? Please take note the underline ones are actually the keywords, and later on we'll be showing you how exactly to tackle the keywords that are in this question. Okay, number two, describe this individual's personality. Do you know what is personality? Some students do not know what does it mean when they say somebody's personality. Okay, and part three, in what ways? Please take note, ways with a S. Okay, he or she has influenced you. You meaning that you are a student, 16, 15, 16, 17 years old student. All right, not you as an old man, not you as a young child, 12 years old. All right, so number one, key points to note. Okay, let's go. Okay, number one, you must read and discern the requirements of this question, which we have done. So based on the question, there are 3 parts to the question. Okay, and these requirements must be addressed in your essay. You cannot miss out any of these parts. Okay, part two, you have to identify the key terms, which we have done just now, and we'll be going in a little deeper later on. Identify key terms in the question and define them clearly, okay, in order to give an accurate response to the essay question. Okay? Okay, next thing to do is that in order to score, you need to construct a creative but relevant response to the essay. Okay? So what's the difference between an A1 and a B4 student when it comes to compo writing? Okay? Other than your language, the other thing that differentiates you is actually an excellent storyline. Means that your storyline has to be more outstanding than all your classmates in your class, okay, or in your school. All right? The content of your essay needs to be interesting and enjoyable to read. Do you know that many secondary school students like yourself are still writing PSLE type of compos for me, for our teachers? Okay, the storylines are so simplistic that I think it's a disgrace to say that you're in secondary school. All right. So later on, I'll be teaching you some methods that you can use to overcome this. So most students we recognize, it's not like they don't want to write a better story. They just don't know how to write a better story. So we're going to give you some ideas on how you can write a better composition from today onwards. Okay? Okay. And the next one is try your best to come up with realistic yet unexpected and meaningful story plots in order to score. So this is something that we do at Learning Journey. Other than we don't just drill students with like model essays, because we believe that each story should be authentic. It should be unique to every student. So you need to come up with your own authentic storylines coupled with excellent vocabulary. Please take note that this part about excellent vocabulary does not come overnight. Okay, if you have not been writing essays for half a year, don't expect to be writing an excellent bombastic vocabulary in your essays. It's really not possible. All right. Okay. Next one. Okay. How to approach the essay? Okay. So first step that we see. Okay. Read and discern the requirements of the questions. Okay, which is what we were doing. Okay. So number one, there are 3 parts to this question which we mentioned just now. Which person? So you need to identify this person. You need to describe the person. And then the third step is to tell me which is the way that he or she has influenced you. Please do not jump the steps. Okay? Please follow the steps one by one. Otherwise, your story might end up in a mess. Okay? The part about describing an individual's personality, it can show throughout the whole essay. That's no issue. All right? But you need to choose the person first before you can talk about how he or she has influenced you. Okay. So over here, I break it down like that. So this is our essay planning process for the students. All right. You can actually use this in the essay. You can actually use this in the way that you craft your essay responses when you're writing your essays for your teachers in school. Okay? Okay. Step 2. Let's now define the key terms that appear in this essay. Okay? Defining the terms are very, very important because if you do not look at your key terms carefully, you are going to write out a point or you will end up not answering what they are asking you to. Okay, let's look at it again. You realize that we keep revisiting the question because if you don't hold the question in your head, you're not going to write on point. Yeah? Okay, so the first thing that you should do, number 1, the keyword is which person. Person with no S, okay, is just one person. So you can't talk about a group of K-pop stars, which one of my students wanted to write about. I said no. Okay, it's not two students, it's not an elderly man and woman, not your both your neighbors. No, one person. Okay, so now we are going to see. Teacher Sarah, can you help me to moderate the responses, please? Okay. Can you think of such a person, and can you please write it into the chat for me? Okay, who comes into your head? Okay, when you think about this person. Okay, for the lower secondary English compo workshop, teacher Sarah and myself will be running the workshops. Oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot to introduce teacher Sarah to you guys. She's actually the teacher who's been co-teaching with me for the secondary and IP classes at Learning Journey. So we are actually like tag team. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you don't see her, you will see me. If you see me, you also will see her. Okay, so she will be sharing the rest of the techniques with you in a while. Teacher Sarah, hang on, not done yet. I haven't finished yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so for the holiday program that's running on personal recount, Teacher Sarah and myself will be running the session. Otherwise, you might also see Teacher Jayan. He's actually helping us with the lower secondary classes as well. All right. Okay, so come, guys. Teacher Sarah, we got to moderate a bit more. All clear already, is it? Hey, guys, you guys can't be just eating potato chips and listening to me, ah? Can you please help me? Okay, my admin, can you please pin it for me? Can you think of such a person? All right, my admin, hi, domestic helpers. Okay, who else? Okay, oops, I'm going to unpin this. Hi, my admin, can you please help me to pin the first question? Can you think of such a person? Who are you? Okay, Leonard Tan, you can't write about a dog. It has to be a person. You see, this guy's going to fail his compo already, right? Okay, my enemy, my friend, my parent. Yes, you can talk about your father, your mother, your grandmother, your best friend, your schoolmate. Okay, who else can you think about? Okay, can you think? Okay, your grandmother. Anyone else? Interesting. Your coach. Very good. Your parents. Okay, can you give me more interesting response? Okay, now you can see who your friends are going to write about, right? So don't write like your friend. Okay, your senior, your grandmother. Okay, we should. Your ancestor. Oh my goodness. Okay, this person must still be alive. Hello. Okay. Um your ancestor, it depends on how much you want to go before that, you can be like 100 years ago. No, you can't. Okay, you must have met and seen and experienced this person, okay, in a while, unless you say that your great grandfather is Tan Tock Seng, he opened the hospital, you visited the hospital and realized that that was your great great grandfather. Okay, your cleaner, your bag. No, sorry, no bags. You're talking about one person, a cleaner. Mother Teresa is a bit hard. Okay, your piano teacher. Wow, we have 67 comments. Okay, let's see who else. Okay, let's see. Are we all cleared? Okay. So you see, how interesting are your comments here? Your friend, I think we missed out some comments here and there. Matthew, Eunice, mother. Okay, I know Mother's Day just passed, yeah. So okay, we have my father. Okay, Father's Day is coming. Okay. Interesting comments. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna give you something more interesting than mother, father, classmate, best friend. Nobody write about principal. No inspiring principles and discipline master. One of my students wrote discipline master. It's like hardly somebody who will inspire you because you probably want to run away from him, right? Okay, come. Let's take a look at the next one. Okay, so next question now I'd like to ask you. The person that you have just chosen, why on earth did you choose this person? Okay, so you must think very carefully. Who is this person? Why are you going to choose this person to write in your essay? Hey, come on, this is your O level essay, right? You don't want to joke around with that, right? Okay, so tell me, guys, why did you choose this person? Okay, why do you choose this person? Give me a good reason. Okay, you must give me a good reason, right? Because you're going to write about this person for your entire essay. So if you cannot think of a good reason why this person is chosen, okay, then you shouldn't be using this person. Okay, hardworking and kind, very good, Niharika. Hi, nice to see you. Most points to right. Okay, very good. Generous, very good. Okay. Generous, very good. Deep understanding, has more details to write. Very good. I see some very good comments coming in. Humble, you have a deep understanding of this person, so you can, okay, play a significant role in my life. Pillar of support, very good. I admire their character. Okay. Take note, yeah, character and personality is different. Give me money every day. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yes, you should be very thankful for that, but is that the thing that is it like how that person earned that money to give you as pocket money? Okay, went through, inspired you to work harder. Very good. I see some very good comments coming in. Perseverance, I aspire. Okay, you aspire to be like them, but why? What about this person inspired you to be like him? Okay, my mate is very hardworking. Okay, yes, 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 understand. Very good. Okay, very good. I actually had a student write about the cleaner that works in his school. Okay, and that cleaner has taught him many life lessons that he didn't learn like in the context of a school. Okay, so that lesson, that story became very realistic, but yet it's a different storyline than what most people would write about. Force you to study. Okay, okay, very interesting. Let me see how you're gonna write that into your essay. Okay, okay, next one. Okay, slide number 30. Okay, so right now I'm going to hand over the time to teacher Sarah, who will bring us to the next part. Okay, so we managed to pass the first hurdle, which is choose the person, all right, and why you chose that person. So now I'm going to hand the time over to teacher Sarah to bring us through the second part. Yeah, teacher Sarah, over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Teacher Grace. Okay, hi guys. So, just a quick recap of the question. So, which person has had the most positive impact on your life? So, we've already talked about which person, right? You've chosen a person. So now we're going to talk about the most positive impact on your life. Now, when you're looking at this keyword, most positive impact, right? It's very clear that the essay is only asking for positive impact. So please don't write about negative impacts or problems or any issues that is not positive in your essay. So you only have to focus on positive impact. Okay, now the other part of the keyword is your life. So you have to mention this incidents in your own perspective, which is a 16, 17-year-old perspective. We strongly encourage you not to write as an adult because your perspective may not be accurate. So you don't want to take this risk during an exam, right? So please write in your own perspective, which is a 16, 17-year-old, and craft it through your own experience, like what you would possibly experience. So I saw some really interesting people that you have chosen, like your mate, your CCA coach. All these are people in your life, and you can relate to them. All right. I want you guys to think of what are some examples of positive impacts. Some of you are already on the right track, but just think about this question, okay? Now, a positive impact is something that inspires you, right? And propels you to achieve success or propels you to just achieve or to go and attain your achievement. So that's what a positive impact is. So some of you already mentioned the correct answer, so I was very pleased to see that. Now, a positive impact creates a beneficial change in your life. So what is a beneficial change? It is an improvement, right? It's a change that is good for you, that creates some kind of improvement in your life, in your day-to-day habits or something. So you must think of a beneficial change that has occurred because of this person. So if you pick a CCA coach, because of this CCA coach, something in your life must have improved, right? So this is what you should be thinking about. So just a quick recap on the essay planning. Now we have completed the person, you have chosen a person, you have also thought about positive impact on your life. So the next requirement would be describing the individual's personality. Okay, so Teacher Grace already mentioned there's a difference between personality and character traits. Okay, so now that's what we're going to look at. Here's the question for you to recap. You realize it's a bit long question, so it's very, very important that you address all the requirements. If not, your content will not be accurate. Okay, so let's move on to personality. Now, description of an individual's personality is different from character traits. Do you guys want to give me some examples for personality traits? Hardworking, intelligent, okay. Wow. Okay. What if we want to compare? Kind-hearted, okay. Okay, you don't have to talk about that individual's private life. The focus is how has this individual affected your own life. Okay, no need to talk about their private life. High IQ, very kind, very helpful. Okay, big brain. Okay, I take it as high IQ. All right, selfless. Okay, very interesting. Confident. I like that. Optimistic. Yeah, thank you so much. Hardworking, positive mindset. So now I'm going to explain what is the definition of a personality trait. Then you think whether your answers are correct. Personality traits are behavior that we can see an individual display, right? One easy trick for you guys to remember personality with is you can see it when an individual walks into a room. So when you see an individual or a new classmate walking into the classroom, immediately there are certain aspects about their behavior, about their attitude that you can tell their personality. Okay, so what is personality? It actually refers to the combination, all right, of qualities, attitudes, and behavior that makes somebody distinct from others. So if you imagine someone walking into a room, what can you tell? Can you tell they are a strong leader? Can you tell that they are very caring? Or can you tell if they are confident? Right? So you think about it, which are certain traits that are apparent right when they step into the room. Okay, and try to show. What do we mean by show? Describe the body language. Don't just give me a list. Okay, so that's how you can earn more marks for your language. Now, so that's something for you to think about. This whole essay is asking about what? Positive impact. So you cannot give me negative personality trait like smelly. I saw some negative personality traits like quite a few that were given at the front. So bad-tempered. So all these are what you want to steer clear of. All right. So those people who are not reading the question, please read. Okay. So you must not go out of point. All right. So remember, personality traits are outward. You can see the person display it. Okay, they are not the same as character traits. All right, so what's the difference? So I give you a little list to kind of compare. So character trait is something that is very inward. Okay, you cannot immediately decipher somebody's character. You must spend some time with them, then you find out, oh, this person is very honest. They have a strong sense of integrity. Right? Or you see, oh, this person is very loyal. My friend is very loyal. Or then you find out, oh, this person is very materialistic. You can't tell when the person walk into the room all these qualities, but you can tell if someone is funny, right? You see a comedian on stage, you know, oh, this person very funny. The way he talk, the way he interacts with people, so funny. Or some people can tell, oh, they're very introverted, very quiet, right? They keep to themselves. All these are visible, like we mentioned here. It's very visible, and that's what is and that consists of personality. Okay, so I hope it's clear. Or some of you don't know what is an introvert. Okay, introvert is someone who keeps to themselves more, are very quiet. Okay, they prefer to be left alone, but they can socialize, but they prefer not to, or they prefer to keep to themselves or a small group of friends. Okay, yeah. So what if I can see through the person's heart? Then good for you. Okay, yeah, so let's move on. So can you guys think of some personality traits, and let's see how accurate you have understood personality traits. Can you guys choose?
Teacher Sarah.
Yeah,
Teacher Sarah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, we're running a bit out of time, so we won't have time to take the question.
for this, okay, yeah, sure. So, can you guys see which are the personality traits? So, I wanted you guys to find out, but since we are running out of time, I'll just let you guys see. Out of these four, very quickly, these are the answers. Okay, friendly and energetic. It's very visible, and you can see this. Okay, as a personality trait. Now, let's quickly give you guys an example of how to describe personality in the essay. So I'm just going to read it out for you guys. Take note of the words that are underlined. These are keywords that describes personality, which is very outward. Okay, you can see the person displayed. Her cheerful gait was unmistakable. Her smile exuded such amiability that put at ease the most introverted personalities. She entered into the organized classroom with a spring in her step and began to set up for the first lesson of the day. "Good morning, class," she quipped pleasantly, instantly enlivening the dull atmosphere of groggy students with her vivacious presence. Her contagious smile was ever apparent, showing her perfectly aligned teeth and radiating warmth matched only by her gregarious persona. Mrs. Tan was my form teacher. So if certain words you are not sure of the meaning, you can copy down and you can find out the meaning later on. Okay, so these are very important keywords that you can use to describe personality. Okay, that's one of the requirement of the essay. All right, very quickly. Okay, we will revisit this again, so don't worry so much. So now, just a quick recap of the planning. So now we have mentioned the person, we have talked about positive impact, we have talked about the description of the individual's personality. So lastly, we have to mention what ways he or she has influenced you. Okay, come. So what is the definition of influence? Okay, so just a quick recap of the question. You can go. All right, so influence means you have to, like Teacher Grace already mentioned, what ways with the S, so plural, you must give more than one, okay? You have to give at least two, which is reasonable, all right? If you have time, you can give three. So you have to elaborate what are the influences. Okay, how this individual has influenced you. So you must write about some changes in your habit, your beliefs, or your behavior. Okay, so can you guys think of some changes? So you must tell me, like, from situation A, you have changed to situation B. So from a very messy person, you became more organized. So obviously focus on positive changes. Don't talk about negative changes. Okay. Okay, can you guys think of some positive changes? Okay. Become lazy, becoming hardworking. Okay, let me see. Wow, quite a few. Pessimistic to optimistic. Okay, why not? Become confident in public speaking. Okay, very good. Procrastinate to hardworking, gain confidence. Yeah, so these are possible changes you can talk about. All right, so for example, you need to show that change that has happened in your life, okay? Now, to score higher marks, so how do we go from a B4 to A1? You have to emphasize on the significance of the influence on their life or achievement. So it must propel you to achieve something, remember? So you need to link it to the positive impact. So the positive impact is the big is the big idea. Okay, so you have to link it to the positive impact. So think of possible ways the individual could have influenced you. All right, there you go. So these are your three main requirements of the question that you have successfully addressed. So your content will be on point. So this is an example of of merging the positive impact with the influence. Okay, so let me show you how it's done. You can say that Mrs. Tan, the form teacher, has influenced me to become an effective communicator, an empathic listener, and most importantly, an individual with a keen awareness to promote the welfare of others. So, effective communicator and empathic listener is your influence. The positive impact is the big picture, the big idea. How much has it changed you? So you have become an individual to promote the welfare of others. Okay, now Teacher Grace will take you through step 3. Teacher Grace?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, okay.
Okay, can. So you mute yourself, yeah? Thanks. Okay, so the next step I'm going to teach you is how to construct creative yet relevant responses. So in this case right now, we will be working through the storylines, okay, to help you, because the reason for us having this webinar is so that we can teach you some tips that you can use to write future essays on your own. Yeah. So in our classes, usually we do not cram so much information into one lesson, because we would need to take time to go deeper into each of the steps that we are talking about, and we need to give time for the students to generate their own authentic responses to the question. Okay, so the next step that we're going to do is to write this essay. It will help if there's really such a person in your life. Okay, so just now there was a question, can you write the essay in for as if you are a 12 or 13-year-old? The answer is no, because at O levels, when they ask the question, and the question has the word you are supposed to answer the question as if you are a 16-year-old or 17-year-old sitting for the O-level exams. All right. So if you want to write as a 12 or 13-year-old, please do it at your own risk. You can try to do it for your school exams. I think you will not do an excellent job, actually. Yeah. So what's critical is that you need to portray the individual as required in the question. Means all the requirements that they want you to do, the positive impact, the personality, how a change has been effected. So all this you have to address in your essay. And we have some inquiries whether there's any of these essays that you can download. I mean, yes, we have a free book that you can download, our students' expository writing. We do have our students' narrative essays, which they have written to top their classes. But unfortunately, this information or these books are only available to students who are currently enrolled in Learning Journey. So if you're interested to get a copy, please join our classes. Thank you. Okay, next. All right. Okay, if you don't have such a person in your life, you can create one. All right, and how do you create a character that is very interesting? Okay, so you can create it based on the readings of inspirational stories like chicken soup for the soul. Okay, you can read newspapers. Okay, or from your awesome imagination, which some students have, but obviously you need to fulfill the requirements of the question. But what if you don't have an awesome imagination like many of us, right? What can you do? So let me share some practical tips with you, okay? Okay. So how do you come up with an awesome storyline? Okay. So usually I'll tell my students, why don't you try to use some inspiring Singaporeans? Okay. Try not to write about people who are not staying in Singapore. Like you want to write about your US friend, your London friend, your UK friend, or your Indian friend somewhere in the world. Okay, you can if you really know this person personally. All right, but if not, please try not to write it out of the Singaporean context, because you might end up being out of point accidentally. So you could think about a cousin, a neighbor, a family member, maybe your best friend's brother or sister, because the whole world will be writing about classmates, someone in the school. Okay, and the last thing you want is to have a storyline that's identical to them. Okay, so we have a list of overused storylines like classmate, teacher, principal, father, mother, even grandmother. Grandmother is fine, but you must have a very, very deep story to share about your grandmother behind the scenes. Okay? Okay, so let me share you some examples of people that you can use. Okay, I'm not sure whether you have seen this before. Okay, this is called the Generation Grid Award 2019. Okay, and it's organized by the Straits Time. What happens is that they shortlisted 21 nominees. If you go and Google this, I'm sure you can find the article with the full write up for each of them. Okay, so there are some interesting nominees that you can read, and maybe try to use them in your story. So you can write about this person as your neighbor. Usually, I like to use neighbor because anyone can be a neighbor, right? You can have an old person, a young person, a child, an adult, someone who is handicapped or disabled or has special needs or has a very tragic past. Okay, so let's take a look at this example. So, Mr. King, okay, he had a freak accident during his a swim training, and what happens is that he lost the use of his legs. Okay, but then he did not give up, right? So some of you actually wrote that, oh, you talk about this person because he's very determined, he doesn't give up easily. Okay, so what happened to him? He did not give up, and then he actually channeled his energies into his studies and graduating with honors from NUS. Okay, so this is just one of the 21 persons that you can talk of. Let me show you another six more people that you can possibly write about the storyline. Okay, he's not someone I know personally. Okay, let's see. And then we have another para athlete. You all know who's a para athlete? Okay, it's actually an athlete, but they have some form of physical disabilities, but they can still represent Singapore in many international competitions. Okay, so for example, this Miss Claire Cole, she was paralyzed after a fall from the fourth floor, but she did not dwell on the tragedy. Okay, she moved on. So in the end, what happened to her? She plays table tennis for Singapore. So you can actually say that for this, you can actually say that you were very inspired by her and you decided to persevere in the sports that you were actually trying to excel in, even though you have faced many, many setbacks or failure. Okay? And then we have another one. This story is like a story with an unexpected twist. He was actually set to be a professional musician until what happened? He lost his hearing. So, do you know how tragic it is for a musician to lose their hearing? All right. But instead, what did he become? He became a music teacher at St. Gabriel's Secondary School. So, can you imagine? You want to write about a teacher? Are you just going to write about any ordinary teacher who just encourage you to work hard and study hard because that's what all teachers do? Would you want to write about a teacher like Mr. Ong? He is a teacher who have overcome his tragedies to succeed and decide to continue to teach. Okay, so is this a good storyline? Yes, this is a good storyline. You may not be from Singapore, you can be maybe coming from another country. I'm sure you can find people like that in the newspapers that you read. Okay, and what happens? There's another student, another influential, another person who is worth talking about, Mr. Lim. Okay, he has no parents. Okay, can you imagine if he is your neighbor? All right, he was raised by his grandparents. So can you imagine if his grandparents were the one who stayed next to you? Okay, and he was a gangster. Okay, he sold illegal DVDs until, okay, he discovered fencing. So some of you may do fencing, right? Okay, so he not only fence, but what did he do? Something very amazing. He went on to win medals, including Singapore's first Asian Games medal in fencing. Okay, so he's like the first in Singapore to make history for this. So this is what we call someone who really has influenced you positively. Something amazing, not just like everyday amazing, it's like really amazing, right? Okay, we're going to share three more stories with you. So I hope that stories like that, okay, will inspire you to write a story with a better plot development rather than the usual flat and boring stories that you end up with. Okay, Mr. Jeremy Lim. Okay, something interesting about him. He was born with the brittle bone disease. So people who are born with this disease, their bones break very easily. The slightest knock would make them fracture their bones. Okay, and when the bone is fractured, it's very painful and they take a very, very long time, okay, to actually recover. Okay, so what happened to him? Okay, so he was being bullied in school, obviously, because of the way that he's growing. He's not even as tall as any one of us. If you want to mention that this is a classmate of yours, you can, but you cannot write that he's 29 years old. You have to say that she is 16 years old and she's sitting O levels with you, but she maybe emerged as the top student in your school or something. All right. So what happened to Jeremy? If you want to talk about Jeremy, if you want to talk about a persona like Jeremy, you probably have to talk about him as your neighbor or maybe as your cousin. Okay. So that is how you can tweak what you see in your storylines. Okay, with the rest. All right. Okay. And then we have this lady over here. Okay, what is her story? Okay, she had to stay up almost every night to tend to her cancer-stricken father while studying. So studying is really hard enough, but she has got to look after her father. In the end, what happened? She graduated with first class honors from NTU, and she was inspired by her father's doctor. So while you are inspired by her, she shared with you that she was very inspired by her father's doctor. So you could write her as a neighbor, right? Okay, she can just be staying next to you. And this is a story. And her story inspired you, but at the same time, she was inspired by someone else. So this is something unexpected in a storyline that most students would not think of. But imagine if you have read the Straits Times, you have saw all these stories. Why would you not be able to write a story like that? Okay, so this comes down to practice. This boils down to practice. All right, and one last one that I would like to share with you. Okay, and we have a few more techniques to use. Okay, Mr. Jason Yeo, he was being abused by his late father, means that his father has passed away, who was an ex-convict. Okay, so he actually felt very sad because he was living with emotional and physical scars, and after that he forgave his father. So this could be a neighbor, okay, or a cousin, all right, that you know of. And after a while, he actually forgave his father. So this is something that you can learn from him, okay. And what is he now? He is now a police officer, okay. And what is his purpose? Protect and care for other abused children. Okay, so he has come one full circle. So aren't all these stories inspiring enough for you to choose one of them to write? Then, like your classmate, your fathers and mothers are very, very inspiring. Okay, but I'm sure some of these stories are really very interesting that you can explore writing. Okay, okay, next one. Okay, next, you can utilize descriptive writing techniques to elevate your language flair. If you want to find out a little bit more, I'm so sorry I don't have time to finish it in an hour. You can try to attend our holiday workshops to learn this in greater detail because we'll be touching on this in our holiday workshops. Okay, so important note for my students who are using really good vocabulary to write their essays, this did not really come overnight. Most of them started with no descriptions at all in their essays. Zero. Okay, so after a lot of nagging and scolding from me and teacher Sarah and all our other teachers, okay, their essays finally look very decent. Okay, so consistent practice is key. You can't do this overnight. All right, next one. Okay, so the next thing is that you need to check to make sure that your completed essay has got all the requirements, okay, in all your questions. Okay, in the essay questions, the requirements in the essay questions are all met in the essays that you are going in the essay that you're going to write. Okay, now before we're going to share with you more upcoming webinars that we're going to organize, I will actually. Okay, where's my Q&A? Over here. Okay, so content is spelled wrongly. It should be with a T. Okay, so basically it really depends on the requirements of the question. So if the question specifically say describe the personality of this person, then you probably have to write like what teacher Sarah showed you just now. Remember, she showed you a paragraph with a lot of descriptive phrases on the person's personality, her persona. Okay, how does she behave in class, etc. Yes, for those cases, yes. But sometimes for strict personal expository essays, you do not need to use so many bombastic phrases. But of course, good language is also good. It's always good. It depends on the context which you use them because in your essays, there's always language and content marks, and they take up equal weightage. Even if you use excellent vocabulary and you do not fulfill the requirements of the question, you are still not going to do very well for your essays. All right. Okay. And okay, how long should a compo be? All right, about 500 words will be good. But I'm saying that more important than anything, you should be talking about, you should be coming up with an excellent storyline than saying that I'm going to write a 700-word essay. And that's not going to score you any marks if your storyline is not good anyway. Okay, let me just go on to the rest of the presentation. Hang on. Okay, so for those who are keen, not just in personal recount writing, we also have a series on expository essay writing. Unfortunately, we're not doing a free webinar for this. This is a content-packed session for those in upper secondary in Sec 3, Sec 4. You can really consider this because this is a very in-depth session whereby we will designate 2 lessons, one for you to catch up on the content, where we'll be sharing with you all the important things that you need to know for that topic, as well as essay writing practice during the 2 lessons itself. So you get to write and you get to see the teacher's comments right away. All right. The next one that you can possibly consider is our online English prep class. This allows you to do live oral sessions with our oral examiners. So this will help you. Many students have feedback that this is really useful because they didn't have their mid-year oral exams. So they are really so nervous when it comes to talking in front of someone right now. Okay, we also have got a summary workshop coming up. Okay, and this is a 2-day workshop whereby you can expect to learn summary writing techniques. Okay, as you have seen, it's not just about practicing mindlessly or just blindly drilling yourself with past year exam papers. It just doesn't work that way. You need to know some of the strategies to use in order to ace your different respective sections. And this is what Learning Journey believes in, that you need to use techniques. Okay? Okay, the next thing that you can do is that if you have not downloaded our free ebook for model essays, please do so. Good news, we are going to publish a brand new compo essay assessment book coming up this year. So please keep a lookout for it. The personal recount one should be coming up really soon as well, maybe next year or something, you know. Okay, if you have primary school kids or you have primary school siblings, you can get them to download the primary school version. Okay, so just now we have some questions about the holiday program. So let me just quickly go through what exactly you will be looking out for. So we managed to squeeze quite a bit in for today's session. So what we're going to look at is that if you feel that you need more practice, you need to go deeper, you need to be able to do personalization, you need to be able to do like description for your personalities. You don't know how to describe your characters at all. You look at your entire essay, you don't even see one single descriptive phrase used to describe the character in your stories. Okay, you probably need this lesson. Okay, with us, and I'm so sorry we can't give it away for free because people are paying for this lesson right now. So in this essay, in this workshop, you also be learning how to write reflection for your conclusion, because that's where a lot of students actually struggle. They cannot write a proper, decent conclusion or reflection for the personal reflective essays. It's just like 2 lines and that's it. They say, teacher, I can't reflect anymore. That's all I know about reflecting. No, there's a way to do it. You have to write at least one, if not 2 paragraphs to focus on your reflection in order to score for your O levels. Okay? It's 9 o'clock now. Let's see whether we have any last questions that we can take. Otherwise, we'll probably have to call it a day soon. Okay, how do we identify what types of essay to write? Descriptive, okay, this is a very interesting question by Yun En. Okay, let me publish this. Okay, I'm going to switch to Q&A mode. Okay, we can take questions from you guys. Hang on, where is my Q&A mode? Okay, here. Okay, guys, so this is a question that everyone is wanting to know, right? So should you write expository or personal recounts in exams? Would teacher prefer us to write expository to show maturity? I'm not sure if you've seen last year's expository question. It's a suicide question, okay? Almost everyone who did that question didn't do well because there were just too many criteria to write. And the question was worded in such a complicated manner that most students would not be able to craft a very decent storyline, not storyline, proper topic sentence to answer that expository question. So I would suggest that you only write expository questions if you are really very familiar with the question and if you really can answer the question's requirements very well. Otherwise, it's actually perfectly fine to write personal recounts or reflective, okay, if you have a good storyline. There are students who score A1s just by writing the personal recount and reflective questions as well. Because it's definitely a better bet than to write an expository essay and screw it up big time. Okay? So don't write if you're not familiar with the topic. That's why we are focusing on the different expository hot topics like social media, arts and culture, because these are big topics that most students do not have confidence in tackling. So it's very important that you know the details so that you can use them in your oral exams as well. Okay, I have another question here. Okay, so many of you are asking, so what is the difference between a narrative and a personal recount? Okay, a narrative story is like you can narrate any story, just like PSLE. Okay, it can be a story about your grandmother, your grandfather. You don't even need to be in the story. But a personal recount has to be personal. You, the person, you are the character in the story as a 16-year-old student. Okay, so that's the difference between a narrative and a personal recount for those who are in Sec 1 and you're not very sure what is the difference. Okay, and then we have another question here, which is very, very interesting. Okay, how do we identify the essays, the type of essays to write? Descriptive, expository, or personal recount? Okay, pure descriptive writing essays are out for O-level essay topics. You will not see a pure descriptive essay. All right, but you will see a descriptive essay mixed with a personal reflective essay, personal recount essay like the one that you just seen. Okay, there is a descriptive component. You cannot run away. All right, if they explicitly put it into the essay, you have to write it in. Okay, it's 9:03 right now, and I think that okay, I have a question here. Let me see. Okay, I've got some questions here. Okay, this is a good question by Yu Yang. What should a Sec 4 student do if we do not have much experience with personal recount? Just like what I'm teaching in my classes right now. You need to start brainstorming for good storylines. You have all the time, okay, not all the time. You have 4 months, 5 months to do it before your O levels. So this is your chance to look at all the past year questions. So at Learning Journey, we actually compile commonly tested exam questions for all our students. Okay, so for those students who are with Learning Journey, you have this thick book with like hundreds of questions that we have compiled for all our students. And there are hundreds of personal recount questions that have been used and tested at exams in other schools across Singapore. Those questions are excellent for you to use to generate ideas. You can do what I showed you just now. What did I do? I went to the Straits Time. I looked at stories. You can go to Storm. There are also inspiring stories there. You just need to curate the ones that are interesting. Some of you watch YouTube, right? Go to YouTube. If you were to Google something like most inspiring teenager of the year, I'm sure you will find some very interesting stories there as well. Okay, maybe some YouTubers or something. Okay, but please take note. If you're supposed to write the story like you know that person, you have to keep it that way. All right. So if you do not have much experience with personal development, like my life is very small, right? I just go to school, come home, see my parents, and that's it. I mean, at most I just play some computer games, right? Okay. My social circle is so small. I don't do volunteer work. I don't know anyone who's unfortunate or had some family tragedy. That's where you're gonna read newspapers like what I showed you just now. Go Google, read, use those stories to form good storylines because those are real, authentic, realistic stories that you can use. Okay? Okay. We have another question from Angie, which is very interesting. How can we expose ourselves to more topics that might come up for expository compose? Join Learning Journey. Okay, you can go to the online classroom for online classes if you are keen to. Okay, you can find us. If you click here on the green bar, click here, you go to the online classroom website. Okay, expository topics. In Learning Journey, we shortlisted 10 top 10 hot expository topics that you must know before O levels. Okay, these 10 topics are actually covered in a very systematic way at Learning Journey. So if you have missed any of them, you can attend our holiday classes to catch up. So we believe in covering content with our students before we ask them to write. Why? Because if I do not cover content with you, you end up writing rubbish, honestly speaking. Okay, you need to know, you need to be able to read. I mean, there are guidebooks that you can purchase from Popular. You can also come to Learning Journey because we have got materials that have been nicely compiled for you according to the different topics that you can use for your oral, for expository. You can look at past year O level questions, but honestly speaking, that gives you an idea of what kind of questions might come out. But unfortunately, those questions have already been out. So even if you practice on them, but there's a very high chance that the same question will not come out again for your O levels, right? Okay, so some schools actually give their students past year papers to practice on. You can explore your school's past year prelim papers. All right. You can also subscribe to our newsletter so that we can release like 10 essay practice questions for you. Or this other thing that I can suggest, because what happens is that I know that secondary school students are really very busy. Okay, so some of you might not really have the time to attend tuition classes, right? And sometimes your family finances might not allow you to. I can suggest this, because for this English composition marking, this is where we can give you more questions to try. Okay, we have a total of 10 different top uh 10 different topics, and each topic we have got two questions for you to try. So if you were to visit our website, we'll be posting the links. My admin, can you please post the links for people for them to see, so that they can click. Okay, the links are already out here. You can click. If you click on secondary English composition marking package, if you click there, you can see the 10 topics that we have shortlisted for you, and from there you can choose which are the ones that you feel that you need practice on. All right. Okay, I've come to the end of my webinar. If I don't have any more last questions, thank you everyone for attending and coming to our session. I hope everyone has been, thank you for your participation. You guys have been really great. Okay, and we hope to see you at Learning Journey and the Online English Classroom. Okay, bye bye. Bye. See you. Okay, if we're going to launch any more of these webinars, we will update you guys. Okay, bye.